Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long goes 1975. A using girls on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long goes 1975.
Hey YouTube, Long Boys Post 1975, and welcome to another collection video. Or in this case, as you've read the title, my original Xbox collection. Although I hate the fact that we have to call it that now because there is an Xbox One, when we used to call it the Xbox One before there was an Xbox One. So if you hear me slipping into Xbox One, well, I'm pretty sure from the box art I'm holding up, you'll know what it is. Now, why a collection video on this? It's quite simple, really. I never had an Xbox One. Back in the day. I knew only of one person who had it, and the go-to game that we always went around his house to see was the original Halo. And I had Xbox One backwards compatibility on my 360, which I used, but those of you who've used it know that it's by no means not perfect, you know, emulation. I would say that they've gone a lot further in effort-wise on the Xbox One, the correct one, to, you know, kind of correct those problems with the limited games they put on there. Easy, I guess, because of the limited games. But yeah, such stuff is it was always cropped, certain effects wouldn't show up, frame rate dips and stuff like that. But that was my sort of access to the original Xbox. So I bought a few games here and there, but never intended to collect for it, mainly because I was running it on a 360. I never had any real interest to collect for it, and still don't consider this a collection. But the reason I'm doing this video was, as of this morning, when I, you know, sorted out my shelves and stuff and put, sometimes, you know, you got gaming shelves, you know what they're like, they get all out of order and stuff like that. And I'm not that anal or, you know, OCD to make sure that I'm permanently on top of it. As long as they're all in their boxes, that's, you know, nice enough. But yeah, I looked up and just went, holy cow, I've got a reasonable being the operative word here, peeps, collection of original Xbox games, having never decided to collect it. But yeah, anyway, so I didn't go out of my way to collect it, you know, when I had my 360 because the emulation wasn't too good. And then obviously a year or so ago, and that would be when this, well, just over a year or so ago, almost 18 months in fact, this started, you know, becoming a more prevalent thing in my gaming, you know, purchases, was Zara very kindly gave me a modded Xbox. So obviously the main reason it being, you know, has coin ups on it and all other forms of emulation. It's such a, I mean, those of you who use an Xbox for emulation will understand what an absolute powerhouse it is and how good coin ups is if you got it. So then, again, not going out of my way to collect for the system, I started picking up more and more titles. And then basically, when I was tidying up my shelves, I suddenly realised, and this is maybe it's not, maybe this is a stupid video, but the reason this is a big deal for me is I didn't go out my way, as I said, to collect for it, and all of a sudden I got, like, I don't know, pushing 50 games, which isn't bad, considering you never intended to do it. And also, the reason I want to talk about it is, I don't know if, you know, the fact that Xbox One is backward compatible, it's done this, but I don't know, it seems to be more desirable to collect for the original Xbox. This whole start of this video is a mouthful. The original Xbox, I don't know, has it? I mean, I've noticed a stark increase in the decrease, I'm sorry, of games around. You know, cash converters, hardly any these days. Pink Planet was a stalwart choice for, you know, Xbox One games, down to like a little pile like that under their Wii games. Is that where it's been relegated to? Don't get me wrong, I love the Wii, but yeah, now it's beneath the Wii in that store, and in charity shops more so, although I did get, I know, a decent pickup recently, so I thought I'd just go through it. Now, some of these are absolute stinkers, because I knew nothing about them, and they were in a charity shop for £1, and I bought them. The idea with that being, even if they're really crap and you pay £1, in my defence, I didn't know they were crap at the time. You've got a case, because you'll see from the state of some of these cases, a lot of them are banged up to shit. Excuse me, on the Diet Coke, I think you know the rest of the statement. Sorry, it's loaded with ice. Going random fact, even in winter, I go through 2 supermarket bags of ice a week. If my drink's not cold enough to give me an ice cream headache, then how possibly is it going to be refreshing? So anyway, let's just go through this in no particular order, because like I said, and the ones, I'll be honest with the ones I haven't played, because like I said, I don't buy a game for the sake of buying a game, but now that they're getting a further, fewer and far between, At least in my neck of the woods. I mean, if it's completely different in your neck of the woods, please let me know. I'd be quite interested. But yeah, few and far between, I'll nab them again for a case. But this is one I knew of and I nabbed, and it's absolutely fantastic. And that's Midway Arcade Treasures 3. I bought this in CEX for £1.50, and if you're of my generation, then the arcades are a big deal. And games like this, there were never enough of them, were there? There were never enough of them, you know, like Sega Ages and stuff like that. But this has got on it Rush the Rock. This is the weakest one. This is like the Polygon ones. We have Rush the Rock, which is rubbish. Hydro Thunder, which is awesome. Super Off-Road, interesting. Stun Runner is why I bought this. I always wanted to play Stun Runner at home because it was one of those games that just couldn't be... I mean, I had it on the Spectrum, and you know, that was even by their standards really. So yeah, I bought this mainly for that one game, because I've always wanted to play. It was a game that blew me away in the arcades. Was it after or before Hard Drive? But it's a very early, you know, polygonal game in the arcades, and so I bought it for that. And there is San Francisco Rush 2049. That's another great game. But honestly, if you're an arcade guy like me, the fact that that's on there for £1.50 is reason enough alone to buy it. Now this one I haven't played yet because I've just finished the original, and this is in the second batch of games released to be played backwards compatible on the proper Xbox One. This terminology is going to get out of hand. I apologise. And yeah, so I know nothing of it. This is a game that is considered to be an absolute classic, and I love the original. I can't believe it took me so long to play it. I'm probably going to give it away now. Having said that, it probably took me so long to play it because I never had an Xbox until recently. And this would be Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. Don't know anything about it. It cost me £8. Is that expensive? That's actually from CX2. Is that expensive? Well, actually, it was £8 at a charity shop as well. But I guess both those people do their prices off eBay, don't they? But never played it. No, it's got great reviews, but if I didn't know anything about it, hearsay, stuff like that, magazines, YouTube, I would have bought it off the back of the strength of the first game. That was absolutely phenomenal. Excuse me. My bones need preserving. This is a fantastic game that I had on the GameCube back in the day, and gets kind of so meh reviews, but I think it's fantastic, and that would be Judge Dredd, Dredd vs. Death. It's a first-person shooter, obviously licensed off the character 2000 AD, which I grew up with and absolutely love and adore. More so love Judge Dredd as a comic book character than I do the movies, the good movie. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe I fill in gaps. It's got that, you know, like I say, a 3D effects thing in my brain. It just accelerates it because I'm such a 2000 AD fan, and the references in there and everything like that. But no, this is a really solid, good, enjoyable first-person shooter. It's one I bought to run on my 360, but the 360 drops whole models out of the game, and so I kept it, never known I was going to get an Xbox, just in case, you know, never say never. And again, I think I paid £2 for this in a charity shop, and they were abundant. And yeah, honestly, ignore the, especially if you're a 2000 AD fan, ignore the naysayers and give that bad boy a go. I think I covered this one with Knights of the Old Republic 2, but that would be Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. What I just said, fantastic. The story, alright, it's extended universe. Was it ever canon before Disney bought it? The story is fantastic. The graphics aren't amazing. They're not terrible, but for a game, you know, what do you expect for a game this big, this rich, this many choices, directions you can take? And honestly, I'm not a fan of this type of game, but completely forgot I was playing this type of game when I was playing this type of game. Never mind. The next one you could argue is trash. I liked it though. £4. Where did I buy this for £4? It was a charity shop, and that would be Family Guy, the video game. I was going to do a Peter Griffin laugh then, but I won't. I don't watch Family Guy anymore. I think it's jumped the shark a long time ago. But I watched like the first, I don't know, 12 seasons and did enjoy it. And I knew that this was just going to be like a bunch of mini games and, you know, stupid like filler basically. But it's cel shaded and it looks lovely, and filler being with, you know, all the voice actors of the original being made around about the time when the show hadn't jumped the shark. Brilliant, brilliant. Plus it has some really genuinely funny humour in it, like when you're in the prison showers with Stewie and Brian, and they have to like Metal Gear their way through the showers with all the convicts showering. Obviously you don't see anything, there's like soap suds and stuff like that, but there's two of these inmates running around chasing each other, and one of them says to the other one, oh, what's it? Chasing each other is a game we can both enjoy. So, yeah. Starsky and Hutch, I had it on the PlayStation 2, bought it simply because it was $1.99 and I wanted to see if there were any differences. I'm kind of fascinated because we knew that the Xbox was far more powerful than PlayStation 2, but you never seem to notice it when you, unless you never sat down side by side. So I thought I'd give this a whirl. Plus, you know, it's trash, but I love the TV show. Certain games like this, especially when the TV show was a staple of your childhood, it does go a long way to make you enjoy it. And it's, you know, it's a competent driving game. And as I said, at the end of the day, it's always a case. Speaking of the case, I need a label. I've not played this. My brother played it back in the day and really, really rated it. Loads of people really, really rated it. And the reason I've not played this is I knew that it was going to be included in the backwards compatibility on the Xbox One proper. So I thought, I'll wait because, you know, it'll look shiny and fantastic on that. And I think, are we past 26th? Yeah, so I thought, yeah, hell yes. I heard great things. It's a squad base. It's not your average first-person shooter. And that's Star Wars Republic Commando. Obviously, it's set during the time of the Clone Wars, I guess. Looking at the masks, I can't remember this was released around about Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith time. But yeah, so I know nothing about this. No spoilers, unless they're positive spoilers. But yeah, I've been waiting deliberately for that to pop up on Xbox One proper. I apologise about the terminology in this video. Backwards compatibility. Aspartame, you're a true friend. Know nothing about this, have a penchant, soft spot if you will, for old school wrestling games, but quite a lot of them, depending upon who makes them, can be pants. So, just going to skip over this. It's WWE Raw. Again, looks nice and shiny on the back. Haven't tried it, might not even work, but picked it up because I got a penchant for old school wrestling games. Now, I had this as part of a double pack on the Wii and really liked it. But the reason I bought this is I want to see how it works. Obviously, it's going to be graphically pretty much on par with the Wii. Because obviously that's a port of this, but I wanted to see how it worked with a gamepad because I actually really enjoyed it with the motion controls. I think motion controls in the right hands, even sometimes when they've been actually tacked onto a game that didn't require them, can work. But I don't know why I'm defending the Wii in this video, but yeah. So again, I've not played it yet. Bought it purely because A, it's an excellent game and campaign, does something a little bit different. I'll get to the point in a minute. And I just want to play it with a real pad. So that's Brother in Arms Road to Hill 30. Like I said, I hear very good things about that. More so in the community, in videos and stuff like that. Need for Speed Most Wanted. Yeah, it's a Need for Speed game. I got a gameplay of it. It's a Need for Speed game, so it's Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. I think it's fantastic. It was a launch game on the 360 and one of the last games. I love that kind of crossover when they do that. One of the last games on the Xbox. So what is it, 2005 I guess? But yeah, it looks amazing. It plays really nice. It's a Need for Speed game. If you don't like Need for Speed games, then I could be waving around and saying this is the dog's dangly bits and you still wouldn't buy it and play it, would you? So them's the rules. Can't tell you anything about this one. Really wanted to play it. Bought it, Colin McRae 04. And when I got home, it was Colin McRae Dirt on the 360. Now, I don't know, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? All I know is I fancy playing a Colin McRae rally game on the Xbox. I might as well just take the discount and put it in another case, possibly keep the sleeve, because the case is plastic on that one's fucked. This is a game I never played on the Xbox. This is a game that's fantastic. I played it on the PlayStation 2 back in the day. Think Namco's equivalent of Max Payne, and you know exactly what it is. And it's backwards compatible, so it's currently installed on my Xbox One. And that's dead to rights. Basically, cop, bullet time, guns, dog attack, think Shadow Dancer. Fantastic, honestly, fantastic. Is it better than Max Payne? Ooh, controversial. I would say yes. Doesn't look as nice. It's not quite as serious. It's a little bit more cartoony. Not deliberately, you know, because what is it? It's a 15. But yeah, I don't know. I think the controls are far better and absolutely amazable. So yeah, pick that up, especially if you're looking for a bunch of backward compatible games, which I'm quite surprised how many I have, or more surprised, I guess, at which ones they made backwards compatible, because this is another one, and this is a fantastic game, and that's Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. There's Star Wars games on this system, absolutely fantastic. Got a gameplay of this. I had it on I get confused. Which one was on the GameCube as well? One of these is exclusive, and the sequel is... No, the sequel is and one isn't, but yeah, amazing. Just, again, you know, first-person shooter, lightsabers and stuff, third person as well. Great story, great graphics. More, you know, stories, well, it's not as deep as Knights of the Old Republic, but considering it's ultimately a first-person, third-person shooter, or third-person slasher shooter with tight graphics, yeah, the story's far more in depth than most. So yeah, that's another one that's been chosen to be, well, it's been not chosen to, it's now backwards compatible on the Xbox One. So So yeah, definitely recommend that. I didn't pay 29 quid for that. That's an old label. Old labels make me laugh when you see stuff like that. Now this one, I picked it up at a charity shop for 99p. I know this isn't the rare of the two, because the sequel goes for a lot more money, but for 99p I thought I would have this in a heartbeat. I doubt, although Sega has shown an interest in backwards compatibility, haven't they? So I would love for them to make this backwards compatible, but it does run alright on the 360, but the music and the frame rate drop a couple of levels in. But yeah, Outrun 2, you know, conversion of the arcade, this still looks amazing, you know, especially when you compare it to not just now, but I mean, to me it looks like a 7th generation game. But yeah, Outrun 2, amazing, looks fantastic, plays fantastic, loads of cars, Sega arcade goodness. And I know of a cabinet as well down the road that I've played from time to time. If I can find someone to come along with me and hold my phone, I'll get a gameplay of me actually playing it. The next one I bought for £1 and I would say skip over, and that's from Somebody Loves Call of Duty, because it's shit. Call of Duty Finest Hour, it's just crap. Even if you take into account it's a Call of Duty game, which is not really a good Call of Duty game. It's a, there you go, it's £1. It's a case, I bought it for a case, because I've played it before, and it's pants. This is one I picked up for 50p, cool bonus as well, 50p in a charity shop. And it's because I kind of saw other people play the second one and also thought it looked interesting. Sandbox, open destruction game, probably just openly destructive game, just giving it away. But that was Mercenaries Playground of Destruction. Again, this is one of the titles that's included in backwards compatibility. So I was all over this because, yeah, never played it. Know that this is Sandbox as well. And, I mean, Grand Theft Auto with more guns and more destruction. Yeah, and also, so if anyone wants this, unless it does come on 2 discs, which I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Sorry, Wendy Pops. Oh, I can't stay mad at you, Aspartame. In fact, yeah, maybe it does come on 2 discs, I don't know, but so that makes it 25p a disc. So yeah, no spoilers on that if you disagree, but I can't wait to crack into this. I really, really can. And so, more so with the fact that it's backwards compatible, that's why these games are good, that they've added them in, is it makes them easier for me to play, because I don't leave my 360 set up all the time now. It's relegated to a, because space is a premium in the other room, so yeah, it's relegated to a kind of on-off relationship. So these games, I've got enough to keep me going. On the you know, the Xbox One, of which this is one as well. Full Spectrum Warrior. I hear very good things about this tactical first-person squad shooter, apparently based on a training aid developed for the US Army. If it was based on a training app used by the French Army, it would be a series of collection of missions based on how to retreat. Sorry. Actually, no, I'm not. Yeah. So the reason I bought that was that sounded like a kind of, you know, I don't know, brothers in arms sort of thing, you know, but I mean, look at the rewards on the front. But again, it's backwards compatible, so I thought that's an excuse to give it a go, especially for £1. So quite looking forward to that. But I hope it's not full on shove it down your throat squad based, because there's a fine balance of like stuff like SOCOM, and then you got stuff that's too much. Because when you got tactics coming out the ass, yeah, maybe it's just me, I lose interest really, really quickly. This one, I know nothing of it. I hear moderate things about it, and basically, since I'm a huge Tolkien fan, I thought I'd give it a go. The Hobbit, thanks for reminding us it's a prelude to Lord of the Rings, because no one would have known that, because obviously The Hobbit's out now, but it wasn't then. But yeah, I don't know, it's like a top-down isometric one, but it's not full-on, as far as I can stand, hack and slash like the Lord of the Rings games were, which is good. Look, you know, it's still sealed with that amazing anti-theft device, sellotape. But yeah, so I thought I'll have that, because how bad can it be? Even if it's bad, but it's source material based and accurate, then I'm going to love it. I love this one for £1, and that was Crazy Taxi 3. I didn't know there was a Crazy Taxi 3. I got gameplay of it. I didn't know there was a Crazy Taxi 2. I love the original Crazy Taxi. Only ever play it on the Dreamcast collection on the 360, but loved it. Played it on my brother's Dreamcast back in the day. But yeah, this Crazy Taxi, original maps, expanded, extended maps, looks fantastic, sounds fantastic, plays fantastic. It's Crazy Taxi. And especially for £1, you can't knock them apples. Like I said, I'm really quite surprised how many games I've amassed by not trying to amass games. Dead or Alive 3, I thought this was a bit pricey, £2.99, but I love the Dead or Alive series, and when I found out that this was an exclusive, as far as I can tell, to the Xbox, not a port of the arcade or anything like that, and having owned 4, I thought I'd give Dead or Alive 3, and it is. It looks, I mean, well, it's even, I keep saying because it's an original Xbox game, why wouldn't it look amazing? That looks amazing and plays amazing because it's a Dead or Alive game. Again, it's like other games I've mentioned, it's Marmite. So, you know, if you're a fan of the Dead or Alive series, then you'll pick it up and you'll love it. If you're not a fan of the Dead or Alive series, then don't bother. I've got Dead or Alive 1, but I realise I've just left it on the shelf because it has no cover. But that, I believe, is a port of the Saturn. I only have 1 disc, is what it's supposed to have 2, so I guess that's why it doesn't count. But I've got a gameplay of it. I picked this one up for $2.99. That might be a bit pricey, but as I always say, it's only pricey if you're not happy to pay for it at that price. Soldier of Fortune Double Helix, that's Soldier of Fortune 2. Know nothing about this other than I played the original on the PC when I actually had a PC back then, and it was pretty powerful and loved it for one really stupid thing. So again, I'm skirting over that one because I'm guessing it's got to be good if it's, you know, a sequel to the first. But I like the first simply because it couldn't give it, obviously it's based on the magazine, couldn't give a shit about, you know, PC and all that crap and unicorns and princesses and shit. So it was like basically you could just shoot someone and kill them, or you could just constantly shoot them and dissect them into just pulp. And I love shit like that. And look, I haven't shot anyone, murdered anyone, don't have a criminal record, and I love violent video games. Who knew? Oh, I'm running out of Diet Coke. Right. Amazing. Forza Motorsport. I mean, it's got to be quite, you know, an effort to come in. It still looks amazeballs, mind. To come into the overcrowded arcade / simulator driving market after Gran Turismo at this point has nailed it down, you know, so well for so many years. And I came to this after my first introduction to Forza was the 360, and it was number 3 when I just got my Xbox. So that's where, you know, because I never had the means to play Gran Turismo, so that's why I jumped ship, and ultimately I prefer. And you would think that this is you know, because it's the first series, first entry into the series, that it would be lagging compared to current ones. And yes, it is, but it's also an amazingly competent racer with a shit ton to do, shitload of cars, and graphics that still are utterly fantastic. I would love them to make this backwards compatible on the Xbox One, just for the visuals alone. I think it's safe to say that that was a no-brainer after that. I didn't know there was a Forza 2 was on. No, that's on the 360. There you go. It's not on it. How did you sneak in there? I must have had a double header. I was just going to say, I remember playing Forza 2 on my Xbox 360, downloading the demo. Moving swiftly along after that continuity burp, if you will. Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne. It's Max Payne. It's got bullet time. It's got a great story. It's got great visuals. It's got great controls. It's great. I don't really need to go into a massive amount of detail. Again, you either love Max Payne or you hate it, and I love it. I've got a horrible feeling, but we'll see how that happens. If you don't see Max Payne 1, I have that, and that's great as well. It's just, I've left it on the shelf. I wasn't thorough enough, if you will. But yeah, Max Payne 2, get on it. Some people say it's not as good as the first. I say it's better than the first. Now, again, I'll be honest, I've not played this, but the reason I bought it is it was super cheap, and it's part of a series that I've only played on the 360 and absolutely love and adore. Although I do hear that this is somewhat, the current series is somewhat of a departure from this series. I don't know. Battlefield 2 Modern Combat. Don't know anything about it other than, you know, sometimes they say don't revisit or don't visit earlier games in the series if you're in love and only jumped onto this series with the latter ones. So I say poo poo, let's try, and that's why I bought that. So no spoilers if it's shit, only spoilers if it's good. This game is amazeballs. Absolutely fantastic. Because ignoring Crystal Skull, Indy set in the original world of Indy, no aliens. Aliens and God can't exist in the same world, one or the other, people, not just in movies, but in games, in any form of media. Yeah, this is Emperor's Tomb. It's, think, Tomb Raider with Indiana Jones. That's it, but slightly less over the top because it's Indiana Jones. Very cinematic, very Indiana Jonesy, and very, very cool, and I do recommend that one. I think prices are going up on that one. This one, oh my god, Ninja Gaiden. Insane. Is it Team Ninja? Pretty sure it is. Ninja Gaiden, insane hack and slash. I mean, insane. Hard, visually stunning. Hell, on the 360, I think, I want to say, well, I definitely know it runs in 720 on the 360, which I was quite surprised at. But yeah, honest to God, that's like amazing, amazing. But when I say that, I mean it was one of the ones, if you actually had the leads on the original Xbox, you could make run in HD. But yeah, that was $4.99. Is that pricey? Don't know. Amazing. Can't get more than halfway through it. Don't care. Great game to go back and revisit and get your ass kicked and handed to you on a plate. Now, I'll be honest again, with this one, I looked at the next one. I didn't know about it until I played it, and I maybe should have just left it out. Yeah, Rainbow Six 3. Love Rainbow Six Vegas 3, is it? On the 360. Never played any other ones. Haven't played this, but bought it because I thought, hell, I'd really like to see, you know, the evolution of the series in reverse, which quite a lot of this is, you could argue. So I thought, yeah, I'll give it a go. Although since I do remember the bloke in the shop said, I'm guessing you bought that because of the 360 one. I went, yeah. He goes, yeah, that is something else. He goes, you think that one's hard? I said, actually, I didn't think it was that bad. He goes, that one will kick your ass and call you Susan. And that's just putting the disc in the tray. So again, no spoilers, and that's positive. Could you argue it's rude for me to drink during a video like this? Nah. So yeah, quite looking forward to cracking into it though. Now the next one, I don't know why. I knew that it was bad, or I heard bad things, but I thought, how bad can it be based on the series that it's in, and it's made by Sonic Team. It's giving it away. Shadow the Hedgehog. First of all, I know 129, still too much, even for a case. Yeah. And again, there's no point in me giving them away or taking them back to a charity shop or anything like that. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth the petrol. I mean, I know someone, well, I don't know if I'd give this to them because that's like punishing them for owning an Xbox. So I'll keep it for the case. But yeah, we're going to make an even more 2D Sonic. I mean, Sonic had 2, the Knuckles had 2, but this dude's got a gun. Yeah, it's shit. It's fucking awful. Shame on you. I know taste is subjective, so if you like it, good for you. But yeah, shame on you, Sonic Team. Next one is a guilty pleasure. I owned it on the PlayStation 2, I've owned it on the GameCube, don't own either of those versions anymore. I heard that the PlayStation 2 is the best because this wasn't finished and they were forced by Atari to pump it out, but it's not as broken as Driver 3, I think. But yeah, Enter the Matrix. I played it when it first came out, around about the time of the movie, and it's by no means perfect, but it certainly isn't shit. It's a guilty pleasure because I like the fighting in this, I like the diversity of levels, and I particularly like the cutscenes shot around about the time that they shot Second Matrix to, you know, tie it in, you know, because it's canon. Whether it's still canon, I don't know, but it's canon, and yeah. Might have to move that, it's going to start encroaching on it. But yeah, it's a guilty pleasure. If you like the Matrix and you like third-person shooter fighter where you can argue that it is a competent fighter and you can run on walls and just do everything you can in the Matrix, then there you go. That's why I bought it, and it's super cheap. Haven't played this one yet, but bought it knowing that it's got a really, really good reputation, and you know it's an 18 certificate. Not enough stuff is an 18 certificate. That's a nasty fag burn it's got on the cover. Why would you do that? Yeah, I paid $2.99. I don't know. Looks amazing on the back. Survival horror or more sort of survival battery. The Suffering. Again, as I always say, spoilers, good, bad, only good, no actual storyline. So yeah, like I said, a lot of this was, and I'm not normally those ones who buy stuff for, you know, just, oh, it's out there, it's out there, it's out there, it's out there. But as I said, it's thinning out in the wild, so that's why there are, you know, a chunk of games in here that haven't been played. I have played this one. It's good fun. It's really good fun. Is it going to change your life? No. Is it perfect? No. You know, the controls fantastic? Not really. Graphics, they do the job, but I don't know. If you're a fan of the, I guess that goes a long way, doesn't it? If you're a fan of the show, you'll like it. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. I liked it. That's all I can say. Helps if you like the source material, but yeah, I think it looks alright. I think it, you know, plays alright. It's ultimately it's a kids game, isn't it? You know, and some kids games sort of, I don't know, are created or fleshed out better than others, knowing that there's an extended market for it other than just kids. I would say that that's pretty much just a kids one, but it's still enjoyable if you like SpongeBob. Brilliant. Again, if you like your more simulator-y, I don't know, you know what I mean, race driving games, and the pedigree of Toka's there for itself because it started on the PlayStation 1. Yeah, £2, great. Looks absolutely fantastic. Still looks absolutely fantastic. Speaking of looking absolutely fantastic, Project Gotham Racing 2. Oh, I mean, this is the sequel to the spiritual sequel to Metropolis. Metro Street Racer on the Dreamcast. I'm having a brain and word fuck moment. But yeah, obviously it is an art. There's no like little bit of arcade with a little bit of simulator. This is full on arcade. But sometimes that's not a bad thing, and it still looks absolutely amazing. It still runs absolutely amazing. And for a quid, that's criminal. If you've got an original Xbox and you've not played it, a Gotham game, get on it. Seriously, especially if you like the one on Dreamcast. Viet Cong, not played it. First person shooter set during Vietnam. Not enough shooters are set during Vietnam. Well, more so are now. And yeah, I heard that it's your US Special Forces in Vietnam. I don't know, no spoilers, don't know anything about it other than I'm always fascinated by first person shooters set in Vietnam because lots of stuff isn't set in Vietnam. Yeah, next one would be Amped Freestyle Snowboarding. I think this was a launch title on the Xbox. I'm talking about the Xbox this entire video and I still fucking forget the name of the console. Yeah, and there was plans for more but it didn't do very well. But yeah, it's not as good as SSX 3, but it's a very, very competent, solid snowboarding game with tons of attitude, because that's what you have to have in a snowboarding game apparently. Dude! You have to shout that every time you jump off a snowbank. I think it says it in the instructions and it's the law. But yeah, it looks nice, looks really nice, plays really, really nice. And I mean, you could argue that snowboarding games are kind of a niche game, aren't they, really? I mean, they were looking for something else to exploit the fad, not the fad, the fact that skateboarding games have gone through the roof with Tony Hawk's, I guess. Turok Evolution, I like it. First person shooter, helps if you love Turok as much as me. Late to the party on Turok. First Turok game I played, I saw the first one with my brother on an N64, but the first one I played was when I got my N64 about 4 or 5 years ago and got Turok 2, which I believe is the expansion pack, you use it with, because otherwise it just makes you want to throw up, or does it even work? But I liked it, and so this is basically a spiritual Turok game. Loads of people say it's shit. I mean, again, taste is subjective. I think it looks alright. It's got dinosaurs in. I've loved dinosaurs since I was a kid. My first pet, a budgie, when I was about 4, was called Pterodactyl. That's how much I like dinosaurs. Although I had to short it to Terry because I couldn't say pterodactyl. And one day when I found out and someone said, there's a P at the start of the word. How does that work? This is me as a kid. Wouldn't that make it pterodactyl? No, Dave, one day when you're an adult, you'll understand silent P's. But yeah, so I like it. It was $1.99. It's a good, solid, fun game. Yeah, I left Max Payne in the other room. But speaking of good, solid games, launch game by the bloke who worked on the original Wipeout, and you can see that. And I paid a quid for this. And I guess it's one of those games that there was supposed to be a sequel to this. It's one of those games that if you looked at the box art alone, you would think, that looks like fucking bollocks. This game's fantastic, fantastically fast, customizable options, graphically really, really good, especially for a launch game. I don't know why we always say that, as we expect it not to be, but yeah, honestly, what can I say? Think Wipeout, but really do think Wipeout with amazing visuals. Get on that. Here we go, here's another one. I didn't take it back because I bought it from a charity shop, so you kind of feel like a cheapskate doing that. But I really, because again, rally games, again, the second time, it's like the rally gods won't let me play a rally game on the original Xbox. But yeah, I saw this in a charity shop for, I don't know, a quid, and it's Rally Sport 2 Challenge. Is it XSN? Don't know who they are. It's Microsoft Studios. So I thought, yes, I finally get to play a rally game. I just want to play a rally game. Yeah, and welcome back. Yeah, sorry about that awkward cut. Two things happened. One, I filled up my SD card, which I'm really not sure how because it's a brand new 32 gigabyte one. And two, then the power went down. And so deliberately, if you want to, make sure that, because normally when the power goes down, I can't believe I'm telling you this, in my neck of the woods, it's gone for hours. And so yeah, you want to tempt fate. You want power to come back, then tempt the fate, because you could probably tell the massive continuity error in this video is on my face. I thought, oh fuck it, it'll be out for ages, that's a write-off, I'll go and shave. And then it came straight back on. So I'm determined to finish this video, and if it's unprofessional, man, I never said I was Sky TV, was I? Anyway, that rally game, because I couldn't find the game now. The reason I was going to say, or quickly said, before I realised I was talking to thin air, is, the disc was taken out of it, and so I don't blame the charity shop and I wouldn't take it back, because I'm pretty sure it's not them. I'm pretty sure there's some low-life scumbag out there who stole from a charity shop. Stole from a charity shop. Not only for something that goes to charity, but because you couldn't afford a quid. I swear to God, people are low bastards. Anyway, we're in the final stretch, and I've got a lot more than I actually thought I had. I will come back to another one, as you can probably tell now, that I, like I said previously, do really like my old school wrestling games. WrestleMania 21. This one is actually pretty good. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. Sort of like a career mode, would I say? But yeah, I believe it had an online mode, but yeah, this is kind of, I don't know, just outside my favourite period of wrestlers. But it plays a mean wrestling game. Graphically, it's quite nice. But yeah, like I said, I don't know, I can see through its faults because I've got a penchant for old school wrestling games. The next one, you could argue, is I didn't pay $6.99 for it. It's a great game. It's not amazing, and they built upon what was kind of wrong with it, was limitations. So I guess had an epiphany of what to do next with its sequel. But that's Spider-Man, the original game, that they obviously based on the original movie. So yeah, it's not perfect. It's not free roaming. I guess they probably got after this that why don't we make it like Gran Turismo? But yeah, because the sequel is absolutely amazing. Don't have that on the Xbox, have it on the GameCube. But yeah, it's got Bruce Campbell doing the voice, all the voice actors from the movie doing the voice. It's a limited Spider-Man game. It's not as good as Spider-Man on the PlayStation 1, but compared to pretty much everything that had come, you know, Spider-Man game before, you know, it's a solid, good Spider-Man game, if that makes sense. Now on the subject of superhero games, and I saw this the other day for £1 and was half tempted to pick it up to see if anyone else wanted it, and I had to play this on the 360 and it runs so much better on my original Xbox, as you would expect. I wish they would make this backward compatible on the Xbox One, because it's a phenomenal game. The Punisher came out round about the time of the Thomas Jane movie. Features Thomas Jane's voice. A lot of controversy because there was just a horrifically violent amount of ways to kill people, like with sharks, stuff like that, putting a broken window down on their face. You got all the weapons, you got a great story. If you've never played this, even if you have to get it on something else like the PlayStation 2, pretty sure it only came out on the PlayStation 2 in this, you need to get it. It will, honestly, it's one of the best comic and or superhero movie adaptations ever. Alright, it's not based off the movie, but you know, it's in continuity. But yeah, like I said, guns, melee attacks, finishing moves. I believe you could put, actually it's on the PC I think, and I believe you could put cheat in so you didn't get you don't get censor bar over all the finishing moves, but some you do. But yeah, honestly, this is a fantastic game. Another guilty pleasure. With games like this, you don't really need, it's come from a library of all places, it's got a library stamp on it. Yeah, games like this, you don't really need to necessarily go to the latest version, and that's NHL 07 by EA. I like me hockey. Anyone who knows me knows I like me hockey. Go Habs and all that. And these games are brilliant. And like I said, you know, it's rinse and repeat every year. Less so back then, but this is obviously, they're in that throw. And I would say, you see one of these games, these hockey games, EA games, are absolutely amazing. We all, you know, rip on EA. I'm as guilty as the next person these days for being corporate bastards and ripping people off in drop boxes and just being horrible people. But these sports games are staple, good, solid sports games. And since they're sports games, yeah, you can pick them up all over the shop for fuck all. But, well, I say that, no, because these games are thinning out in the high street, like I said, but not sports titles, generic ones. In that case, it doesn't mean it's bad. Midway Arcade Treasures 2. This is worth a £5. This is a, did I just flip you off? Sorry, a must own. The games on this are absolutely fantastic. Mortal Kombat 2, 3, Gauntlet 3, Spy Hunter 2. Spy Hunter 2 is shit. Zybots, Narc, APB, Super Bowl 2012, Timber, Tell Carnage, yes. Pit Fighter, although it runs weird on this. Wizard of Wix? I can't read it. Primal Rage, Arch Rivals. Basically, it's a good, solid, you know, bunch of Midway coin-ups. And yeah, I don't know, I like my arcade collections. I still think we should see more of them these days. I don't want them done like Xbox Live and stuff like that. I want, you know, arcade packs. This game is an absolute no-brainer and fantastic, and played it back in the day on the PlayStation 2, pretty much identical. Helps if you absolutely love the movie. It's a classic. I should clean this, it's filthy. The Thing. Oh, this game was something else back in the day. It's set directly after, you know, the events of the movie, and a group of individuals go in to see what happened. I'm not sure how they would have got an SOS message. Maybe they explain it. I haven't played it in a couple of years, but think squad-based survival horror with an amazing mechanic of how you interact with the rest of your team, like keeping their morale up, because it will break. You can even, like, I don't know, not necessarily keeping the morale up and stuff, like being nice, but like slap them and say, pull yourself together, man. The monsters are all like from the movie and shit. That game is fantastic. We need another Thing game. Even after all these years, I could really handle a sequel to that game. No brainer. Halo. $1.99. Why would you not have this for $1.99? Never played it back in the day. Saw it around my mate's house, as I mentioned previously. We used to go over just to watch it because it was something else. It was so hyped and it delivered. And yeah, all these years later, now I finally finished it. This game is something else. This game is absolutely fantastic. I don't even really need to talk about it. I think I'm preaching to the converted, but yeah, it is. It's groundbreaking. It's set new standards in FPS. And that would be a game I couldn't find. But you can take my word for it. I've got Halo 2. I've also got the Master Chief Collection. But that's nothing to do with this video. Conflict Desert Storm. This is a great game. Squad-based game. Set during the original Desert Storm. You can either be Delta Force or the SAS. This is brilliant. I mean, it won loads of awards, and there is a sequel which I have on the GameCube. But this, I mean, graphically, it's not going to blow your tits off or anything. But it is what it is. A solid, you know, I wouldn't say full-on, you know, strategy as such. But it's not just like a very limited, you know, third-person shooter. But this is a great game, honestly. Great game. And I paid £1 for it. And I see that's one game I still see in charity shops all the time. Now, this is one that it's interesting because I bought it deliberately because I wanted to experience something different to the Madden games, and that would be NFL Fever 2004. So yeah, 50p, and I guess it's not terrible. It really isn't terrible. It looks nice, it plays nice, but I think it's a testament to how Madden, again, EA, corporate bastards, but not so much back then, have absolutely streamlined the modern mainstream American football game, because I just couldn't get into it because of the controls. I don't know, it's just, my brain is so conditioned to Madden that trying to play another Madden game, like I said, I tried. I'm not going to butcher it and use it as a case because that's wrong, and I will go back to it. But yeah, I don't know, my brain's just so conditioned to Madden that I couldn't play it. Like I said, you know, I'm not defending EA, but you could argue that that means they've absolutely nailed modern controls and, you know, how you play and interact, I guess you should say, with American football games. Now, this is one I've yet to play. I've heard mixed bag on it, but it's Team 17 and it's Sega, and that's because I love the original franchise. Worms 3D. Bought it simply because, it might be because I saw it mentioned in a Kim Justice video, and she did speak reasonably highly of it. But it might also be because I don't know, my brain can't seem to really accept and understand how Worms would work in a 3D environment. I'm not saying it hasn't or won't, or hasn't been improved or bettered or whatever, but that's why I bought it. And so again, like, I don't buy games to not play them. I buy games with the intention to play them, specifically on this system, since they seem to be disappearing from the high street. $1.29. So yeah, so all these prices, I guess, does that mean they're going to go up? They're going to change? Need for Speed Underground, again, Need for Speed, PlayStation 2 version, absolutely fantastic. Pretty much the same with this. Absolutely fantastic. Very neon and, you know, like, I don't know, techno race, if that makes sense. You know, it's trying a little bit too hard to be cool, even for a Need for Speed game, but it's a solid, really fast racer, really nice graphics, and yeah, I mean, £1, and it's Need for Speed. Like I said, it's Marmite. Not everyone likes them. Another Need for Speed game, Underground 2. Pretty much everything I said for that last one. I mean, it's weird, we keep buying these, and ultimately there's a whole chunk of Need for Speed games of this generation, not just on this console on PlayStation 2, that are just slight variants or tweaks of each other. That's right, that might be too strong a descriptive term for what they did, but they all seem to kind of bleed into one. I mean, I know this is the sequel to that, but you know what I mean of this generation. It was one long sort of refinement of the Need for Speed game, which isn't a bad thing because I bought it and I really like it, and ultimately I recommend it. Here's a game, I don't even know if I go as far as say it's Marmite, because most people hate it, but I actually, do you know what I got from it and enjoyed it? GoldenEye Rogue Agent. Forget the name, the only relationship it has to GoldenEye is you've actually got a golden eye, so they could put it on the cover, and it's a Bond game, but you play the bad guy. So I think it was a little bit too hyped for its own good, but it's not GoldenEye, but it's not a terrible first-person shooter. I guess people were expecting a more GoldenEye game than what they got, and so maybe that spread a backlash against it, and all the detrimental reviews it got put people off. Because I would say for a quick, get some of this in your life. Plus, old school Bond villains in it. So yeah, give it a go. It's not for everyone, but it is not a terrible shit game that it gets labelled with. Pretty sure everyone knows this. Medal of Honor Frontline. Classic. Absolute classic. Yes, I understand there's a remastered version. Obviously that was on PlayStation 3, which I never had. And I had this on the PlayStation 2 and loved it. But it was just another example of it's an amazing game. I mean, the D-Day landings at the time blew our fucking heads off, didn't they? You look at them now and it's like, I could actually holiday on that beach while all this is going on, and I'm pretty sure I wouldn't get hurt. But, yeah. Nice little French seaside break, if you will. But it's a classic, and I like the levels in it. I think they're really, really good. I think, you know, a lot of effort was put into it, a lot more than later Medal of Honor games. And yeah, I don't know, like I said, it's weird never having an Xbox back in the day. But like my brain wanted to see there's a massive difference between, you know, what you got on the PlayStation 2 and what you got on this. I know, I'm weird like that, like OCD. But I guess you could argue though, unless you run them side by side, meh. Far Cry Instincts, fantastic. First Far Cry game I played was on the Wii, and it's not terrible. So, because it was such a big deal back in the day, particularly on PC, because obviously in PC it is open, you know, world. Whether it's in its entirety, I don't know. On the Xbox, it's not, but they do a couple of little tricks to fudge and make it look like it is. And that's why the Instincts comes in to make it different from, you know, the PC. But this is a great game, looks stunning, and maybe it is an open world, but it certainly feels big and expansive. And as I said, looks stunning, plays really, really, really tight, and it's an amazing game. I really do recommend this more than most other ones in this list, first person wise, because yeah, like I said, quid, but this is an absolute fantastic game. This was one game, even though I've not set out to collect this console, I knew, because I really wanted to play it back in the day and couldn't, that if I ever saw, I would pick it up, and honest to God, it's amazing. And here's an odd one. Ultimate Spider-Man. Assuming that's based on, this was a $5. Seems a bit pricey. But again, I guess these prices, you know, with the rarity they are, again, just my neck of the woods. It was £12 once, apparently, second hand. Yeah, cel-shaded. It looks really, really, really nice. And it's, I don't know, I would say it's completely open world. I don't know, I got put off with it because too early on, there are two fucking annoying race-based missions, if you know what I mean, which is beat this person, and those are the sort of things where I'm like, that's cheap and easy and boring, you know, creation. And maybe there's amazing stuff that I haven't got to, or, you know, scratch the surface off. But when you make it too cheap, too quickly, too early on, with game missions that, and I'm not using this as an excuse for my game playing skills or anything like that, but I don't know, wind you up. I can put it down. I will go back to it because, you know, there is promise. But like I said, I don't know, there's cheap design right at the start of this. Or maybe that's just me and I'm too picky to, you know, be pleased. But yeah, like I said, it might seem a little bit of an odd video because there's a few in there I haven't played. But I didn't realise I owned quite so many original Xbox games until I rearranged my shelf. And I was like, wow. And so yeah, mainly for a catalogue purpose as well, because I'll have to watch this back and edit it, and hopefully I'll retain it. But yeah, I just thought I'd put it out there. As I said, if they are getting a little bit more, you know, difficult to find in your neck of the woods, let me know, because they certainly are in mine. And again, with this new backward compatibility on the Xbox One, will that make it more difficult? I don't know. But yeah, I just, wow, never set out to collect for it, and all of a sudden I've got a reasonable collection. Anyway, as always, I'd love to know what you think. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.